From my hotel room. Hopefully this works a little bit better than it did at the Speedway. I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi this time instead of the 4G LTE Verizon garbage that I was trying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So let's talk about the INDYCAR Grand Prix and what to expect for tomorrow. I see a lot of people saying hi, but let me know if the quality of the stream is better. Hopefully it's much better. Hey, we got quality. All right. Ryan Fitzy, thank you for that. A couple of shout-outs real quick before we get going. Know that Kevin and the gang are not there. They're actually at a cookout that I need to get to after this, so I've got a lot of things on my plate. I've also got a video I'm editing right now. This is crazy. It's a crazy night. Couple shout-outs real quick. Thinking about my friend Rob, who was supposed to be here this weekend and wasn't able to, so we're thinking about you, Rob. Also, shout out to the people who stopped me throughout the day and to say hi and thanks for the videos. Really appreciate everybody talking to me, and no haters at the moment. So, bit of a disappointment in qualifying for the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. It was, the INDYCAR Grand Prix, sorry. It was willpower taking the pole. Bit of a downer because it looked like Robert Wickens was going to get the pole. He was massive, dude. Robert Wickens, man, again, I don't know how many times it has to be said, but Robert Wickens is really, really fantastic. One of the best rookie performances I've ever seen. And interestingly enough, especially in practice, not so much in the actual race, it certainly seemed like he's really putting the pressure on James Hinchcliffe. I saw James Hinchcliffe really overdriving the car. He spun out quite a few times, and you know, it seemed like one of those deals that, yeah, Wickens is good, and he's really, I think, putting pressure on Hinchcliffe. A little bit of a disappointment was Alexander Rossi. He didn't get out of the fast 12. I think he's placed on the grid. I have it up on my computer, but I'll get it later. I think he's placed on the grid something like 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere around there. I would have thought that, again, I picked him to win based on my video. So I don't know what's going on there with Mr. Rossi. Another person who was fairly disappointing. Let me flip it this way. There we go. That's better. Then I can hold it with my left hand, and everything's much better. Another disappointment was Scott Dixon, which was like, why is he so bad? I was not expecting that. I will say the hype is real about the new aero kits. Seeing them in person, this was my first time. I think the aero kits look fantastic. I think there are several cars that look maybe some of the best looking Indy cars ever, especially Bourdais' Sealmaster car. That's fantastic. Just one of the best looking cars ever, in my opinion. So as far as I'm concerned, the way the rest of this month is going to go, at least in terms of these, is that I'm going to be probably doing these probably from the hotel room. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it at IMS. I'm going to try to... Was that a phone call? I guess the phone was ringing. Well, that's how people are going to really cause me problems, is that my friends are going to find out when I'm streaming and then they're going to call me. But anyway, yeah. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about... So I guess I'll probably have to stream from the hotel room using my phone. I could possibly use my PC, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. My goal is to try to provide as good a coverage as I can, just basically talking about what's going on at the track, my observations. And one of my particular observations today was just the fact that it was a beautiful day for racing, beautiful day for getting out on the track. There's actually a lot of things to do at IMS this year. There's a road course, which is or not a road course. There's a go-kart track in the road course, and I wouldn't say it's particularly the best go-karting experience I've ever had, but it's something to do. It's fairly interesting. The other thing is that it was just a beautiful day, And of course, with IndyCar's on track, it's always a beautiful day, but obviously this much more so. So I'm going to start giving some predictions for the INDYCAR Grand Prix. If you have any IndyCar related questions, or maybe just any questions in general to ask me, I'll be glad to answer those right now. Of course, super chats get priority, so if you want to tip me. But so predictions for tomorrow. Oh, that's another thing. Elio coming back. Miss Elio. It's weird because I was never really that big of an Elio fan until he wasn't there anymore. So I'm glad Elio's back because he's a solid driver. Solid driver. So for tomorrow, I definitely don't think Elio's going to win. I think it's hard to bet against Will Power. Let's be honest. There's only 2 drivers that have ever won the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, and one of them is on the pole, and one of them's mired somewhat back in somewhere back in the pack. I think Pageant was starting like 7th. Elio in the Verizon scheme. So Elio in the Verizon scheme is like so. There's 3 Verizon cars this weekend. Newgarden, Elio, and Power are all running Verizon-sponsored cars. The only problem is that they are not only all silver, but the differentiations between Power's car, or not Power's car is actually pretty easy to spot. The differentiation between Elio's car and Newgarden's car is very insignificant. It's a white stripe on Elio's car versus a black stripe on Newgarden's car, and they're both running black and white helmets. So it's very difficult to be able to see exactly who's coming by each time. And I'm seeing 60% chance of rain. God, I hope not. God, I hope not. Not after the Barber trash fire that was. But I am a little bit worried because I mean there is the Monday available, so there is a possibility that the Monday session could be open. Thoughts on who should take over for Pietro Fittipaldi? I believe Ryan Briscoe. Ryan Briscoe, our Lord and Savior Buddy Lazier. But I really would think more along the lines of I think it's going to be probably Sebastian Saavedra if I had to guess. There was a question about Connor Daly's Xfinity ride. If you hadn't heard, I believe he's doing a ride in the Lilly Diabetes car, possibly for Tom Burns Racing. I had not heard who he was driving for, but he's going to run Road America. So Connor Daly in a stock car, we'll see that. Mid-season prediction for a championship. I think it's going to come down to 4 drivers, and I think those drivers are Sebastian Bourdais, Joseph Newgarden, Robert Wickens, and Alexander Rossi. Which one? Probably Newgarden, but maybe Bourdais. Be nice. Roush. Okay, so it's a partnership, I would imagine, with Ryan Reed, who's also sponsored by Lilly and is a diabetic, obviously, like Connor Daly is. Danica Patrick is an overhyped and incredibly bad driver. Rashim says he'd like to see Catherine Legg in an IndyCar. I agree. I like me some Mama Cat, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Rossi versus Wickens. That would be fairly interesting as a championship battle. IndyCar Dover. It already happened twice. Happened in the 60s, happened in the 90s. It wasn't that great either way. Larson in an IndyCar. I would love to see Kyle Larson in an IndyCar. Don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. Okay. This chat is not lit. It's very not lit. What do you think about Daly and Xfinity? I think I already pretty much answered that. I'm not really sure exactly what I don't know how he's going to do. It's probably going to be a 15th place finish, just like IndyCar buying IMSA. What? Joey in an IndyCar. I don't know about Logano. Kyle Busch in an IndyCar. Ironically enough, I heard Robin Miller and Mario Andretti talking about that today, so that's fairly interesting. Thoughts on Rinus VeeKay? I saw him race. I watched the Pro Mazda race. He wasn't bad. I wasn't particularly enthused by him driving. Was there a lot of fans in the grandstands? No, I think attendance is dropping for the Grand Prix. It always does. This was kind of predictable, but there's really no energy behind the Grand Prix, and that's kind of one of the reasons that everybody got kind of triggered when I said we should the Grand Prix really it shouldn't be in May. Honestly, there's just not a lot of energy, not a lot of hype. As soon as cars get on the oval, there'll be hype, but I think it's a bit of a flash in the pan. That's a shame. I enjoy the INDYCAR Grand Prix. Well, I mean, it's a race. I'm obviously here, so I enjoy it to a certain extent. But at the same time, I don't know. It's an extra race, but whatever. When it takes to effect, the NBC deal will help compete with NASCAR. Not yet. Not yet. NASCAR needs to fall a little bit more, though. The sale is fairly interesting from that perspective. Would you like to see an IndyCar race at Martinsville Speedway? No, but you can do it on R Factor, so if you want to do that, go for it. Do we know the winner for tomorrow's race? Probably Will Power. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. The Devon channel says, hope to see you tomorrow. Hope to see you tomorrow, too. Just be nice to me. Do you think the new cars will help the racing get a little better? Well, there aren't new cars coming until 2021, so it's a little bit hard to say whether or not there's going to be better racing in 2021, so I'll let you know. I'm definitely sad that race day 2011 couldn't come. I'm probably not as sad as he is, but life happens, things happen. World Endurance Championship of Spa thoughts? Couldn't see it. I pretty much watched the highlights, and pretty much the highlights are the fact that the SMP prototype had a bad weekend. Not only with the Dragon Speed car having the horrible accident with Pietro Fittipaldi, which broke both of his legs, but if you've seen, I think I tweeted it out, one of the SMP racing cars did a blowover at Eau Rouge, and thankfully didn't go into the trees. The driver is all right, but it was scary. Where am I sitting? I'm not sitting anywhere. I bought a general admission ticket. Rip Rob's month of May. Well, rip his Grand Prix of Indianapolis, but he'll still be here for the oval stuff, and he'll just be making up for lost time. Let me tell you, Rob he'll be going hard in the garage area, I guarantee you. Will Dixon contend for the title? Not this year, I don't think. I'm pumped for the Indy GP, says me man. Cool. IndyCar at Eldora. I'd like to see an IndyCar try the dirt, but at the same time, David, did you know high class? I missed. Oh, quality's going down. All right. So since the quality is going down, we are going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. This has been the IndyCar Red Pill live. Hopefully we'll do this again tomorrow, reviewing the IndyCar Grand Prix. Bye.